Hello, hello. Welcome to Yoga for Endurance Athletes and Normal People too. Today's class will be a lot of the flow of doing the traditional Sun Salutation. In that, we'll do a lot of the high to low planks, that kind of yoga push-up. If at any time you want to get on your knees and do that yoga push-up, please do. We'll also be doing a bunch of downward dogs and moving into our pose from downward dogs. So if your shoulders are wonky at all, you can always have your hands wider, move your hands like this, in or out, whatever is easier. Or you can also be in a puppy pose or come into have your hands in a tabletop where your hands are underneath your shoulders, and just be in that pose and get into it that way. All right, so let's start. And we'll start standing. And we'll be in our mountain pose. And first of all, we'll practice our breathing in and out through our nose first. Now start to feel your belly expand, push against the waistband of your pants or your shorts. And really focus on trying to drag the breath as low into your belly, even into your hips as you can. So you don't need to take deep breaths. Just drag them into your belly. I have a little nasal thing going or something. I sound like a tea kettle in my head. I'm sure it's just my sinus. All right. Okay, so we'll start with our flow with the Sun Salutation. So we'll bring our arms up, inhale, come down as we exhale into a forward fold. Inhale to a half lift. Exhale, hands to your mat. Bring your feet back as you are exhaling high to low plank into a cobra. Inhale and then exhale back to a downward dog. All right, so that's the flow. And then downward dog, we'll spend about 5 breaths here and work on breathing in, and on the exhale, pushing our heels back or dropping our shoulders. So let's inhale, lift to the top of the mat. We're going to walk our feet forward into a forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way up. And all the way back down. And inhale up. And exhale, hands to the mat, feet back. And you're exhaling all the way in to your cobra or upward facing dog. And then exhale back to downward dog. So work on doing all of those movements with your breathing. Let your breath be the guide for the movement. Good. One more breath. Good. Walk your feet forward. We're going to do that 2 more times. Inhale to a half lift. Exhale to a forward fold. Inhale all the way up. All the way back down. And up. And then back, hands down to the mat. Walk your feet back as you exhale high to low plank into the cobra or upward facing dog. And then exhale back. So upward facing dog is the same thing as cobra, except your knees are off the ground and the tops of your feet are on the ground. Creates a little bit more of a back bend. It's a little bit harder on your upper body. Good. One more breath here. Now we'll take an inhale. Walk your feet forward. Inhale to a half lift. Oh, I felt like an old man there. Exhale back to a forward fold. Inhale all the way up. And all the way back down. Inhale to a half lift. Exhale high to low plank. Inhale to a cobra or upward facing dog and back to a downward dog. All right, now we're getting warmed up. And what we're going to do next is come back up to the mountain pose. And we're going to sink into a chair pose. That's what we're going to add. And then from the downward dog, we're going to walk into a warrior one. And we'll do that a couple times. All right, let's walk your feet forward. Inhale to a half lift. Exhale to a forward fold. Inhale into the mountain. And now sink down into the chair. We'll hold this for a couple of breaths. And so the inhale is to sit up a little bit. Exhale is to sit your butt back as low as it'll go and bring your shoulders up so your back is really doing the work. Good. Now inhale. Exhale down to a forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, high to low plank. Inhale into the cobra. And then exhale back into downward dog. Then we're gonna inhale, bring your right foot up in the three-legged dog. Bring it forward. And then drop your back heel and come into warrior one. That's a lot of work. All right, warrior one. Inhale, relax your torso. Exhale, rotate your shoulders so that they're rolling forward. Reach your hands up. Create a back bend as you exhale. Back leg should be mostly straight. You're going to feel a pulling on the inside of your left thigh and the inside of your left hip and your psoas. Front knee should be over your front ankle. Good. Just keep working this. Getting as rotated as you can. But just let your breath be your guide. If you can't breathe into your belly, then back off. Good. All right. Now we're going to dive. Bring your hands forward. Bring your hands down to the mat. Bring your right leg back into a downward dog. Okay, now lift up your left leg, bring it up, and then bring it forward on the exhale, and drop your back heel, come into warrior one on this side. All right, same thing. Try to bring your shoulders forward, facing forward. Check your heels to see that they're lined up in a straight line. And you're really working on opening up your hip. So now it's the right inside of my right thigh, my right hip, into my inside of the hip bone itself, and my left thigh is really working. All right, here we go. Dive down, bring your hands down to the mat. Walk your foot back into downward dog. Now we're gonna rest here for just a moment for our 5 breaths, but then we're gonna come back up into mountain. We're gonna do that whole thing again, including chairs. And then we're gonna do warrior 1 into warrior 2. Good, here we go. Inhale, walk your feet forward on the exhale. And inhale into a half lift. Exhale into a forward fold. All the way up into mountain. And then chair pose again. Sink down. There you go. Oh, doing perfectly on time. Good. And really reach up your arms and let your back do the work. On the exhale. Good. Inhale, come down. On the exhale to forward fold. Inhale to a half lift. Exhale, bring your hands down to the mat for a high to low plank. Into cobra, and then back into downward facing dog. This is what my dog does every time she is ready for a walk or to play. This is what she does, although her little hind legs are more like bent under her. All right. Now we are going to lift our right foot again up, bring it forward into a warrior 1 again. Let's see if it's a little bit easier this time than it was the last. Did I tell you what we're doing next after these? Oh, it's going to be fun. You're going to watch me falling everywhere. So it's going to be like you're getting a yoga class, but you get to laugh at the instructor because of, let's just say that I'm not elegant. But they're so much fun to get into. Good. Exhale, and you're just reaching up on as you exhale. You're inhaling and rotating and relaxing. And exhaling, really reaching up. Good. I'll do one more breath. Inhale. Now rotate your shoulders into warrior 2. All right, so everything just rotated. My right hand is now forward. My left hand is back. My right knee is still over my right knee is over my left. Oh, for goodness sake. My right knee is over my right ankle. Good. Try to get your hands as far apart as possible. So the inhale is to relax everything. The exhale is to reach. It's kind of the opposite of what we were doing with the warrior 2. So you can kind of rotate forward a little bit again and exhale and try to stretch your shoulders out. Good. One more breath. Now we're going to cartwheel back down to the warrior 2, to the downward dog. So bring your hands back over, hands down to the mat, bring your foot back and come in to the downward dog. So on these downward dogs, I'm still trying to inhale up in my tiptoes, and exhale and come down. Good. Let's get our left foot up into the air, left foot forward into a warrior 1 pose. I'll go the opposite direction now. All right, warrior 1, hands in the air, left knee over my left ankle, right leg straight, Inhale, open, exhale, rotate forward and reach your hands up. So you're trying to create a back bend while you're rotating your torso. That's why there's so much awesomeness going on in this pose. Good. All right, now we're going to rotate. Inhale, exhale into a warrior two. Get my shoulders loosened up now. Same deal. Inhale, kind of rotate your torso. Exhale, reach your left hand forward, reach your right hand backwards. Make sure there's a weight on your back leg as you are coming into this pose. Feel the strength in your left glute and your left thigh in the front. And then feel the strength in your right butt cheek and leg on the back. Good, you got it. Let's do one more breath here. Try to keep your hands upright. A lot of work being done by your shoulders here. Good. All right, inhale, cartwheel your hands back down to the mat. That's all the work we're doing in those flows for the most part. Now we're going to come to the fun part. So there's a pose called dancer that we're going to get into. It's a balance pose. And when you do it right, you look like one of those Degas ballerinas. Although we're going to look, at least I'm going to look nothing like that. But it's still a great balance pose. It does great things for opening up your chest and for your hips. Good. Let's inhale, walk your feet to the mat, to the front of the mat. Inhale into a half lift. Exhale to a forward fold. Inhale all the way up to the mountain, hands together, hands down to heart center, and then release. All right, so in dancer, you might want to have something to hang on to. I'm going to hang on to handlebar, just because it is a balance pose that's requiring you to do some other things. It's not just a tree pose where you're going to fall out. So what we'll do, there's a couple of different ways to do this with your hands, but we're going to do it the easier way. And I will tell you what the harder way is. Well, I'll do that right now. So what we're going to do is the preparation is simply to lift up your, the weights on my left leg. I'm going to lift up my right foot and grab a hold of my outside of my foot. Now, the harder way is to reach, I don't think I'll be able to do this today, is to reach your hand inside so the palm is facing out and grab the inside of your foot. That allows you to lift it up a little higher, but I'm not getting there today. Go ahead if you want to try that. All right, so left foot down, right foot up. All right, so I'm going to roll around here. I'm just going to come over here. Never mind rolling around. All right, so I've got the handlebar is a place. You can use a chair, table. Okay, so lifting up an arm. Okay, and this is step 2. Step 1 is grabbing your foot. Step 3 is leaning your torso forward So now my left arm is pointing forward, and I'm pushing my top of my foot against my hand behind me. Oh my goodness. So that's where all the work is happening in your bottom leg, but you're pushing out against your right hand as your foot is in your hand. And you're just holding this for one more breath. Good, now let's come back down. We're gonna go through this whole rotation again so that we'll just continue to practice it. So walk your feet out. So it's hard, but if you can feel the balance, that's what's good. All right, right foot down. Grab a hold of your top of your right foot. This side might not go as well. Arm up. Now start to tilt forward. Hands come forward. And now push, again, the top of your foot against your left hand. So you're creating tension in your right thigh. And then with all these balance poses, look forward or down at some immovable object and just stare at it. And work on your breathing into your belly. Good, now we're gonna come up. We're gonna relax and come down. Okay, good, got it? All right. We're gonna try that all over again. Now I'm gonna work without a net, without the handlebar. Now we're gonna make this work. All right. Left foot down. Reach down, grab your right ankle, right foot. Arm up. So I've got my spot on the floor. I'm going to lean forward, push my foot up against my hand. Creating that tension. And now I'm just breathing into my belly. One more breath. Good, come on out of it. I must have eaten my balance Wheaties today, although I should never have said that. So I usually can't hold my balance for that long, so today's going well. Foot down. This is also the leave the red ball on the mat on our backs. Okay, left foot, left hand, right hand up in the air. Find your immovable object on the floor. Find your breath into your belly. Start tipping over. Push your foot out into your hand. Yeah, see, I should never have said that. Now I'm falling out. One more breath. And then down. All right. Nice work. That was really good. That was really good. Because those are hard, but they're kind of fun once you get that, because of the tension on your bottom leg and the tension on your back leg against your hand and bending over, there's that element. A full one is being able to bring your foot all the way up here while you're reaching forward. Go for it, because that'll never happen. All right, bring your arms up overhead. Inhale, exhale down to a forward fold. Inhale to a half lift. Bring your hands down to the mat, and then just make your way to a seated position, and then make your way on to your back. So your knees are up. Hope you're on time. Good. So one of the great ironies, I'm not sure it's an irony, unusual language things is the fact that in yoga, for the most part, a dead bug pose is very similar to a happy baby pose. I don't know what that means, but I find it really interesting. So let's bring our knees up and our feet up, and we're going to grab the inside of our legs, of our feet rather, and pull them up in the air. So your head can be back on the mat, and the inhale is trying to relax this mess, and the exhale is letting your hips come down, pulling your knees down a little bit. You're going to feel this in your hamstrings and the inside of your thighs. And we'll hold this for 4 or 5 breaths. Just keep gently moving with your breathing. Breathe into your belly. And exhale and just let it all kind of fall to the ground. So your knees are coming to the ground. And now we're going to release all of that. And we are going to bring our feet down to the mat. Our knees are up in the air. Let's have our hands at about a 45-degree angle. Lift up your right knee, bring it over the top of your left knee, and then bring your knees over to the right. All right, all the way over. So butt cheek is, your left butt cheek is off the mat, and bring your right hand over. This is a total pretzel pose, so you're not going to feel comfortable. So your left hand and left shoulder on the exhale are rotating down. So my right thigh is kind of touching the floor and the mat, but it's mostly off the ground. My right hip is definitely on the ground, and so is my right shoulder and my right hand and arm. Now I'm just letting gravity take over on my left side. I did get a great little hip spine pop, so hopefully you're getting a little adjustment as well. Just a slightly more aggressive spinal twist. Inhale into your belly and exhale, and just let your left hand and left shoulder fall to the mat. One more inhale and one more exhale. Good. And as you exhale, roll back up. Bring both of your feet down to the mat again. And now, what am I doing now? But yes, my left knee's coming up and over the top of my right. And I'm rolling over to my left and not coming over as far to this side. Oh boy. So I'm feeling this all in my lower back and in my outside of my hip. And I'm letting it come down a little bit farther. Ooh, and now I'm just going to let my right shoulder, I just popped my hip again. This side, that's awesome. This side feels completely different. My hips or my knees aren't going down nearly as far as on the other side, although I'm on my left hip bone, on that edge of the hip, and then I'm just rolling over again the same way. That was just letting gravity take over the work and letting your body weight just pull you just a little bit more deeply into this so that you get a spinal twist. One more time. And come on. Good. All right. Now, unpretzel yourself. Roll up to a seated position. All right. That was awesome. Let's find your breath down into your belly. Good. Hands to your side. We're going to inhale. Bring your hands up overhead. Hands to palms together. Hands to heart center on the exhale. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Namaste. Thank you for joining us on this cold Wisconsin night. Yeah, for yoga for endurance, everyday endurance athletes and normal people too. Check out other yoga offerings on the website, simpleendurancecoaching.com, and check out the other information on coaching and strength training. Take care.